somebody they expect to see in school is no longer there. I mean, it's a void for everybody. I do want to say thank you to Mohammed Fahim and his family. They were constantly a consistent liaison and to the Muslim community, and we worked so well together. And we were texting at 3 a.m. on Sunday night after this happened, and we were talking about the things we needed to do as a community. So
You are watching Capital TV Washington.
Good evening, Mohammed Fahim reporting from Plainfield, Illinois, about the recent murder of Wadea Al-Fayoume that happened in unincorporated Plainfield. With me today, joining me is Deputy Sheriff Dan Jungles, Robert Miller, who is the Chief of Police of the Village of Plainfield, and also the Mayor of Plainfield, John Argudellis. And let's get started. Deputy Jungles, could you give us a quick update on where the investigation is at this point? What's happening?
Sure. So the Will County Sheriff's Office has been working this investigation since the 14th, last Saturday. And since then, we've been able to develop a backstory as to what had happened. Not so much why, but we do know that it was an attack based on the Muslim, the hatred towards the community. Both Wadi and his mother were stabbed numerous times. Wadi's mother, Hanan, has been released from the hospital, and she is currently in housing, temporary housing, until she can get placed. Because one of the things that people don't really realize about this case is that Hanan and Wadea, they lived together with the offender and the offender's wife. They lived in the same house. It wasn't a normal rental agreement where you have separate living quarters or anything like that. So they lived in the same house together. So obviously in this particular case, it's not good for the mother to go back to that house. So we've been working with her and other community partners to get her placed and help her recover during this long process.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that update. Chief Miller, there is a lot of angst in the community about the safety of Muslims in particular, and also in general, people are worried about the effects of this war, which is not on our shores. How is the Plainfield Police Department handling this?
Well, I can tell you, this is close to home, right? It is not our investigation, but it is Plainfield, and this is the Plainfield community. This is not just a loss to the Muslim community. This is a loss to the Plainfield community. And I can assure you, and we've heard, what are we doing to keep the community safe? And I can tell you, we are certainly a safe community, and we really had no issues prior to this, and we haven't had any issues in Plainfield since this. And I know there's other communities that have had some incidents happen. One of the big things with us is if you see something, you hear something, please call the police, dial 911. One of our biggest areas of concerns is the schools with the kids. And that's kind of the input that we're getting. And I can assure you with that, the schools, and working with the school district, with Dr. Wood and the school district, it is our main concern and our main priority. And I can tell you we are out and about. We are, full patrol presence. We're on foot at the schools. And the schools have always been a priority for us. And obviously we do have a little bit of a heightened awareness because of this tragic incident. So those are some of the things that we're doing, in and around the schools for our children. And like I said, if with adults, if we just we need eyes and ears out there, and if somebody hears something, sees something, whether it be a text, whether it be on social media, we need to know about it so we can fully investigate it, to try to find some of the haters in this community, and we can certainly bring them to justice, because that is a crime. So that's a few of the things we're doing right now with the Plainfield Police Department.
Okay. Thank you, Chief Miller. And also joining us today is Mayor John Argedelis, Mayor of Plainfield, who has been very instrumental in handling this situation on a day-to-day basis continuously. We worked together to arrange a vigil for the boy's family also on Tuesday. That was attended by thousands of people in Plainfield. So, Mayor, thank you so much for your leadership. And if you would like to share some, some thoughts with the community about what Plainfield is and what we are doing about bringing the community together.
Well, thank you, Mohammed, and I would like to thank the chief and deputy chief of sheriff rather of Will County for all of your efforts. We have preached for a long time, since before I was mayor, about the necessity to be inclusive and to treat everyone in our community equally. And I know that we've had a great relationship over the years, and it was very important that the vigil occurred, because Plainfield, in addition to mourning the loss of one of our own, we really, as a community, wanted to make a statement that we reject bigotry, we reject hate crimes. We reject the inequality. We embrace our diversity, and it makes us a stronger community if everyone feels included, everyone feels safe. And those efforts preceded this, and they were going to continue throughout the time I'm mayor, to make Plainfield an inclusive community of 45,000 people. I think when everyone feels they're a part of the community, then we all pull together. And that show of unity the other night at the vigil was just very touching to all of us, that people came together. We had religious leaders from every faith. We had community members from from a broad cross-section of the community, but we were unified in our rejection of this hate.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Chief, for your time, and thank you, Deputy Sheriff, for your time today. Folks, again, if you have any questions, concerns, if you feel threatened, feel free to reach out to your local police department, make an immediate report, let the police handle it, and they have a better capability of finding out who are the people who are creating disturbances and hate in the communities. And don't try to take people on by yourself. And if you are feeling distraught about these things, if you've got some issues that you want to talk over with, talk to your insurance companies and ask them, under your plan, what kind of resources they have for some psychological counseling and some help. So reach out to your insurance companies. They will direct you to a list of people that can provide you with some mental health services also. I was talking with my daughter about it, because we are getting a lot of calls from people. We announced that we can provide some, help. And I said, how do people do this? And she says, Dad, the best thing is to call the insurance company. And under your plan, they will go and tell you which are the mental health professionals that you can go to. I think that was a good idea.
Can I add one thing?
Please go ahead.
So also, we do have a mental health counselor that works at our police department. Helps. It's a company, and they help many people. We contract out, so the village pays, and she helps many people in many different situations. So you can certainly reach out to the police department as well, and that is a free of charge service.
I wasn't aware of that. So is that in every police department or just in Plainfield?
Many police departments have it,
Okay.
but not all police departments have it.
Okay, but it's worth it to give a call to your police department also and see if there is any mental health assistance available.
It's a great responsibility. I mean, especially in our leadership roles as mayor or as police chief, that sending the message out that we don't tolerate this, and another message that we want to make sure that people feel safe. I know that a lot of people, especially in our Muslim community, expressed concern about their safety, because while this particular crime was a one-off, deranged person apparently, you never know who the next deranged person is, whether it's at the grocery store or at the football game, and it's very difficult to prevent that. But as the chief was saying, more intense patrols, more visibility of the police department. We do use social media quite a bit. We issued I have my mayor pages on Facebook and Instagram, and we issued official statements condemning hate, condemning these actions, mourning our loss, and we will continue to be very visible on social media, which is such a expanding venue for communicating with our community. So we will continue those efforts. And I think I've said this, I compare it to maybe sports teams or businesses. Culture is set at the top. You set the tone of how people are expected to be. And in our community, we set that tone as one of tolerance, one of community, one of inclusion, one of respect for one another. And I think the more we continue to set the tone that this is how we are in Plainfield, the more it filters down and the more people buy in that that's our community. So we will continue to do that, to preach that we have respect for one another and inclusion in others' traditions and their faiths, and we'll continue to do that.
So, when you're talking about community, I think the thing that I saw the most in the vigil, the thing that stood out the most to me, when the father spoke, he spoke in Arabic, and he asked the people there in Arabic, how many people here speak Arabic? And from my vantage point, I didn't see a whole lot of hands go up, which I think is very indicative of this community. It's not. This isn't just a Muslim community. This community is full of all kinds of people, all races, all religions, and I think this entire area is like-minded, and I think this unfortunate incident, is just like 0.0001% of the issue. So I thought it was a beautiful vigil, very heartwarming, and I couldn't have been prouder to be there.
Great. Do you have a last word?
No, the only thing that I'll say is, the mayor has said it numerous times, that we are one Plainfield, right? We are one community. It's not just a certain group or race. We are all one, and all will be treated equally, and a diverse community makes the community better. So that's what we strive for.
Do you want to say a last word?
Well, I don't know much more I could add to that, but I guess to my wrap up is, we still mourn the loss of young Wadea. I mean, this is us. When you think about it and strip away all the other things we've been talking about, there's a young 6-year-old whose life is gone because of this horrible crime, and it's hard for us to, I think, process that he's gone.
Elementary school reaction, the kids. Do you realize?
Well, there was a mom who spoke at the vigil, and her child knew Wadea, and they went to school together, I believe, and he was, where's Wadea? Kind of. I'm sure his other classmates feel the same way, that there's somebody they expect to see in school is no longer there. I mean, it's a void for everybody. I do want to say thank you to Hanan Shaheen and his family. They were constantly a consistent liaison and to the Muslim community, and we worked so well together. And we were texting at 3 a.m. on Sunday night after this happened, and we were talking about the things we needed to do as a community. So we've worked well together as brothers and as fellow citizens of Plainfield.
Thank you so much.
You are watching Capital TV Washington. The best South Asian TV channel in North America.